Hello everybody, Lime Knight here. As you guys all know, I'm a huge Pokemon fan, and now that it's been some time since Scarlet and Violet has been released, I figured it was time for me to talk about my favorite Pokemon in this game. I'm going to be talking about my top 10 favorite Pokemon in Scarlet and Violet, and the ones that just missed the top 10, but they're still very good. So without further ado, let's just get started with the video. To start off, we're going to start off with the ones that just missed the top 10. And the first one on my list is the Pokemon Arcabax. Growing up, I always loved dinosaurs, and Arcabax is a pretty cool looking dinosaur Pokemon. I'm not a huge fan of its typing because Dragon and Ice doesn't really make sense, but overall it's a good Pokemon, and it's my favorite out of the line. I don't really like this line that much, but I do like the middle line. Great Tusk was a good design in my opinion for taking a Pokemon like Donphan that nobody really cared about and making him look really cool, prehistoric even, having him look like a woolly mammoth. I thought that was a really cool idea. I would definitely prefer this Pokemon over Iron Threads any day. I'm not a huge fan of that design at all. Skullvillain was a very unique design. I actually like the idea that having two jalapenos be one Pokemon and one's fire and one grass. I thought the fire grass combo was really cool because I don't think they've done a dual typing of fire and grass before. I could be wrong, but I actually used this one on my Scarlet playthrough for the first time, and I actually really enjoyed using this Pokemon. It's a really cool, unique design. Amarogue is another Pokemon that I think has a really cool design. I love the night theme. I mean, obviously, look at my channel. It's called Lime Knight. And I think this Pokemon just doesn't look like it's going to take any crap from anybody, and it's going to beat the absolute living crap out of anybody that messes with it. Although it doesn't look like it would be a Psychic type though, because its typing is Fire and Psychic, and I don't see Psychic in this design. Other than that, pretty cool design. The last one that missed the top 10 was the Pokemon Garganacl. Garganacl is a really weird looking Pokemon, but I love the theme of the Pokemon. Rock Salt Pokemon is really cool. And yeah, it does look kind of cool. It kind of reminds me of a Minecraft a little bit with all the cubes and everything, but overall it's a pretty cool design, and like I said, I love the Rock Salt theme. I'm a huge Supernatural fan, and that's immediately what I think of when I hear a Rock Salt Pokemon. So now we get to the top 10. And the first one on the top 10 is the Pokemon Sizzler. Sizzler is obviously going for the quote-unquote mid-stage of the legendaries, but it's supposed to be the modern version of the legendaries, because the legendary is the, they got the past version and the future version. This is the current version, and I think it actually looks pretty dang cool. I love the idea that this Pokemon is what people are riding on in modern times. They just go around all of Paldea and just riding this Pokemon constantly like we do with the legendaries, but in a lot smaller versions. It's also, I love lizards. It's a giant lizard looking Pokemon with a wheel. I mean, what else could you ask for? It's just a really cool design. I did try to put this on my team for a little bit in my Violet playthrough, but it's just not strong enough to hold its own against some of the other Pokemon that are in the game, so I ended up taking it off my team, unfortunately. But overall, pretty good, strong Pokemon. If you enjoy Dragon types, this is a good choice for you. Number 9 on my list is the Pokemon Toadstool. When I was roaming around Paldea, I did not expect to run into a Toadstool. Like, what a weird, awesome thing that they added into this game. I'm a pretty big fan of Tentacool and Tentacruel, especially Tentacruel, and having a Tentacruel run around on land on his little tentacles as a Toadstool is just hilarious. This thing looks like it's straight out of Super Mario Sunshine. I think it's hilarious how fast they are. As soon as you come near a Toadstool, it just runs away, like sprints away from you. And Toadstool's kind of the same way. It looks like it's like, oh crap, I need to run, and it just like abandons you. It's hilarious. It's just derpy enough to be awesome. Also, Toadstool's shiny is just awesome. The color scheme and color pattern of this Pokemon just matches the derpiness of this Pokemon perfectly. I also like the fact that they made it a grass and ground type. I like the idea of these just roaming the forests and just protecting the forest from invaders. Also, this Pokemon has a really awesome looking shiny. Overall, this is a really cool design, and I'm really glad that they added it into the game. Number 8 on my list is the Pokemon Veluza. Veluza was a really strong looking Pokemon that I used during my water mono run playthrough, and it was a big, huge addition to the team because of its water and psychic typing. This Pokemon is just like an angry looking fish. Like, this fish looks like it's going to bite the ever-loving crap out of you if you don't leave it alone. They obviously were trying to repeat what they did with Sharpedo and Sword and Shield by making this thing chase after you to no end. I kept running into these things like crazy during my playthrough. They also introduced a signature move to this Pokemon called Fillet Away, and this move is absolutely insane. It cuts your health in half, but it raises basically everything up, and it's just super overpowered. I do like it when my water types are mean, scary looking fish, usually the scary looking Pokemon, and this one definitely takes that cake. It's definitely an angry, scary looking Pokemon that I really think was a cool design. Number 7 on my list is the Pokemon Maschiff. Ever since Generation 2, they always add some form of dark type, like beginning route Pokemon, and this is Generation 9's beginning route Pokemon, Maschiff. When I first found this Pokemon, I immediately put it on my team. I loved the look of it. I loved how it looked like a up to no good, angry looking dog. It looked like it was just about to cause mischief. Obviously, that's where the name came from, and I was really excited to see it evolve. Now, when it did evolve, I will say I was pretty dang disappointed. I am not a big fan of Maschiff, but I do love Maschiff because I just love the look of this Pokemon. It looks like it's just a good, loyal dog who's just really gonna cause some mischief. Thus for the name, like I said. I also will say that Maschiff has one of the best shinies, in my opinion, in the entire game. Honestly, that's about it. I don't really have much else to say about this Pokemon other than I love the way it looks. It's not remarkably strong. It's just a Pokemon I thought was a really cool addition, and I love dark types, so I wish this thing had a better evolution, unfortunately, but other than that, yeah, I like this Pokemon a lot. Number 6 on my list is the Pokemon Lokix. One of the cool things about Lokix is actually the very first bug and dark type Pokemon we've ever gotten. Now, talk about a cool looking Pokemon. This grasshopper looks like it is about to destroy its prey. I love the fact that its back legs look like it's about to just like come down with a saw blade on its opponent to kick it right in the face. Not only is it awesome and cool looking, but it's also very strong and usable in the game as well. I used it on my very first playthrough with Pokémon Scarlet. I'm a pretty big fan of bug types, and this is definitely one of the best out there. This thing looks cool, is strong, is usable, and all around a really cool Pokemon. Number 5 on my list is a fan favorite, and that is Fuecoco. Fuecoco was not my original choice. I was originally going to go with Quaxly when I first found out about the starters. And at the very last minute, right as I started playing Scarlet for the first time, I ended up choosing Fuecoco instead, because I was like, you know what, this looks like a cool Pokemon. So I ended up picking that. Thank God I didn't end up picking Quaxly, because we all kind of saw what happened to that evolution line.
How bad is it really?
But Fuecoco is awesome. It is a cute little crocodile Pokemon, and alligators and crocodiles are my favorite type of animal. I love alligators. Crocodiles are awesome too, but mostly alligators. So getting myself a little crocodile starter was really awesome. What really won me over with this Pokemon was its cute little face. It has a little, animation of its picking up the berry in the beginning, he like burns the berry, starts eating it. That's honestly what won me over, was that little animation that they did in the very beginning of you picking your starter. So that's why I picked Fuecoco, because it's just a cute little crocodile, and I absolutely love it. It's an adorable starter. I'm not the biggest fan of the rest of the evolution. The final form's okay, the middle form is not good, but Fuecoco is solid. Great starter, great looking starter. It's adorable, love crocodiles, and that's why it's my number 5. Number 4 on my list is the legendary one himself, Koraidon. When I first started playing Gen 9, I ended up picking Scarlet as my first choice because I actually really liked the legendary box art Koraidon. Overall though, I ended up liking Scarlet's exclusive Pokemon better, but I really enjoyed Scarlet's as well because of Koraidon. I absolutely loved the fact that this Pokemon bonded with the trainer. I love the look of Koraidon. His battle form is absolutely amazing, and even his riding form looks really cool. He's just an overall total badass dragon. I think because I played Scarlet first, that's the reason why I like this one more than the Violet exclusive, because I just bonded with him over the story and the progression of the game. If they were just to put Koraidon into the game Violet, obviously that doesn't make any sense because of the whole plot of the entire game, but if you take the legendary of Scarlet, put him in Violet with all the awesome exclusives in Violet, that would be the perfect Gen 9 game. But overall, love Koraidon. He's a total badass dragon, and that's why he's my number 4. Number 3 on my list is the Pokemon Meowscarada. As I said before, my first pick was Fuecoco as my starter, but when I played Violet, Sprigatito was my pick for this one, and what a great choice. I would say Meowscarada is the best evolution of all the starters in Gen 9. As I stated previously, I really like Dark-type Pokemon, and this is a Grass Dark-type, which is an awesome typing in my opinion. I just also love the look of this Pokemon. The Pokemon goes into the battle with this signature move looking like, "Are you not entertained?" It just looks like it's just like so snobby and like, "Ha, look what I can do. I've defeated you." Overall, I just love the design of this Pokemon. It even has a cool mask on its face. It was definitely my favorite of all the starters because of the typing, the looks, just overall just a great design. And that's why this is my number 3. Number 2 on my list is the Pokemon Ceruledge. You want to talk about a menacing, badass looking Pokemon, you get a Ceruledge. As I stated before, I really like the night theme of this Pokemon. That's why my channel's called Lime Night, and this is the ultimate looking night Pokemon. This looks like a more awesome looking version of a Scyther. This looks like Scyther decided to go medieval and then catch on fire and become a total badass. I absolutely love the theme and the look of this Pokemon. It's a very strong, powerful Pokemon that I've been using on my Pokemon Violet team for a long time. It's just an overall, just a great design. This is setting the standards, in my opinion, of what good designed Pokemon looks like going forward. Also, it being the fire and ghost typing is so cool. Ghosts are my favorite type of Pokemon, and it's just a ghostly knight Pokemon who has flaming swords as arms. Perfect. It's absolutely perfect of a design. So yeah, that's why this is number 2 on my list, mostly because it's a really cool designed Pokemon, and it's also really strong, and I just love this Pokemon. My number 1 pick for my favorite Pokemon of Generation 9 is the Pokemon Tinkaton. I love this Pokemon. I think it's a great design, it's hilarious looking, it's just an overall awesome Pokemon. I use this as my main Pokemon on my first run with Scarlet because it's such a great typing of Fairy and Steel, and it's a really strong Pokemon. I also love the idea that it's this just cute little pink Pokemon with this just massive hammer, and even in the Pokedex entry it says that it just goes around knocking shrapnel into the sky, taking down its prey Corviknight. It's just so funny that this little tiny little cute pink Pokemon hunts Corviknight, knocking them out of the sky. I absolutely think that's hilarious. I know this Pokemon is rising in popularity, and there's a really good reason for it because it's just such an awesome, cool designed, great Pokemon, and it is definitely my number 1 favorite Pokemon of Generation 9. Well, there you have it, folks. There is my top 10 favorite Pokemon that they have introduced in Generation 9 with Scarlet and Violet. If you guys enjoyed my video, please think about liking and subscribing. If you have your favorite Pokemon, comment them below in the list. I'd love to see what Pokemon other people are picking as their favorites, and I'll see you guys on the next video.